Hi, and thanks for joining me for this sourcing webinar. We're going to look at one specific job requirement and analyze it. We will analyze the technical vocabulary, we will analyze the role itself, and then dive deeper to how to actually find the specific IT professional. So let's dive right in. All right, so we will kick off with the network engineer Cisco position. This is in Strasbourg, in France, on site, because it's for one of the EU institutions. So we will be looking for someone who already is in Strasbourg or someone who could potentially relocate to Strasbourg in France. Okay, so what is quite interesting about this role is that it focuses on IT professionals who specialize in Cisco only, Cisco expert. Cisco is actually the company, but also, they have products that are called Cisco, like Cisco routers, Cisco firewalls, and whatnot. So we are looking for someone who can set up the environment within a company, because a lot of companies these days use cloud. In that case, they don't really have to have a network engineer, because it's everything hosted in the cloud. They just write some application, right? They write some code, backend code, front-end code, and then they host the application in the cloud. But a lot of companies that cannot use cloud, they just have to have the infrastructure somewhere on site in their offices or on their premises. So they need to have someone to organize it all. Just imagine some bank or insurance company. So these institutions have offices filled with some peripherals, with firewalls and printers and whatnot. So that all has to be somehow connected. Imagine all these cables somewhere below carpets. Imagine all the IoT devices or cameras, the security cameras. So it all has to be somehow interconnected. And there are some IT professionals who specialize in this. So we are looking for these kind of IT professionals. So the network engineer, and not just any network engineer, but especially a network engineer who specializes in Cisco tools. This ACI, I actually also didn't know what is like this Cisco ACI. Like, there are so many different tools and products that Cisco created. But what I usually do is I just open up Google, and I would recommend this to everyone. If you see something that just somehow doesn't make sense to you, you are not sure what does it mean, then just open up Google and Google it. You can spend 30 seconds reading an article or two, and you will already have an idea what that could be. So that can help you to find the right professional. So in this case, as you can see, Cisco Application-Centric Infrastructure, ACI, is a software-defined networking solution. So it doesn't really tell us much, right? What does it mean, software-defined networking solution? I have no clue either. But it is something for data centers. So yeah, what we could do is to open up this article and read a bit more. There will probably be some video, but into some extent, the details may not be as important as the keyword itself. So it's good to understand in what context this is used. This is used in the context of network engineers. You can see that it's in the context of data centers. So I can imagine some data center full with cables, and most likely the data engineer will set up the cables and the routers and firewalls inside the data center. Okay, so to make this possible, Cisco has created the Fabric OS operating system, which is run by all systems within the network. Okay, so they developed operating system, something like Linux. Linux is an operating system. Mac or Windows are operating systems as well. So Cisco has created a dedicated operating system just for the data centers. So they are looking for some IT professional who can
organize the environment in the data center. So to set up the network and run this operating system, Fabric operating system. So that will be another keyword that we can use. Cisco Application Policy Infrastructure Controller APIC. So this could be actually another keyword. What we could do is just to write a few additional keywords as we keep exploring this role. So we can check if this keyword, for example, APIC, is something IT professionals have on their profiles. What else? Key features, benefits, flexibility, not really interesting for us. That's too deep. That's for people who probably already consider it. But what about CloudGuard, Checkpoint, CloudGuard, and Cisco ACI? Could this be another keyword? Probably. You know what? So I'll just write down these keywords, and in a minute we will explore if the IT professionals have these keywords. So let's close this, and we will have Cisco API, not API, ACI. We have CloudGuard. What else? What was the other keyword? I had it here, APIC. Okay. Probably data center could be another keyword. Cisco API, ACI, Cisco API security. Okay, so let's say we extracted a few keywords for now. Software-defined networking, SDN. Okay, let's just keep it as it is. Okay, so we need to find those professionals. Now I continue reading the job requirement and notice another keyword like FortiGate firewall or checkpoint firewall, F5 load balancers. So immediately we see some interesting keywords. So let's just Google really quick. What are these FortiGate firewalls? What is a FortiGate firewall? Next generation firewall, provide organization supreme protection against web-based network threats, including known and unknown. Okay, that's probably something that Cisco has created again. Maybe yes, maybe not. Data Shield. Okay, so that's another company, Data Shield. So we can definitely include this in our list of keywords. I will include it on the second place because it is listed on the job description, job requirement. Checkpoint firewalls, F5 load balancers. Let's just check if this is a real thing. You know, there may be also a typo in the job description. F5 load balancers. Okay, it could be two words. So you know what? Some may write load balancers together, while others may write load balancers together. So let's try like this. Or we can try also a singular. So, or load balancer. Or load balancers. Okay, we will try all the variations. And the titles can include network engineers, Cisco engineers, competencies, Cisco, Strasbourg in France. Okay, so what does it mean? What does it mean? Like, how do we keep expanding? Because this is the low-hanging fruit. Of course, we can start with people who have the title network engineer, but what is next? What is next? We can do it this way. So this will be keywords, skills or competencies. And right here we have titles. Network engineer, Cisco. Okay, so how about we just really quickly open up Indeed and we can explore some additional keywords that these Cisco network engineers may have on their job requirements. So network engineer co-op, certification expected to receive CCNA. CCNA. It sounds like some Cisco certification, information technology certification from Cisco systems. Okay, well, this is a wonderful keyword, CCNA. I'm sure some candidates will have this on their profiles. So CCNA or Cisco certification or Cisco carrier certification. Good, good. That was a nice keyword. What else? Network and data center. Data center. It's interesting. Sometimes we see data center together, sometimes as two different words. Here, as you can see, it is together. So what else stands out? Sandbox, data center, net DevOps. No. Security, Cisco technologies, VMware. We were looking for someone like that for another position, like some VMware specialist. No, data center network engineer, consulting engineer. That's interesting. We see another potential title. It could just be consultant or network consultant. Doesn't have to be engineer. So it could be network consultant, or maybe just consultant. Who knows, right? We'll find some people who are just consultants, but they have 20 years of experience. SDA, data center, data visualization. No. CCIE, what does that mean? Sounds like something from Cisco again. Cisco expert certification. Cisco certified internetwork. What? Internetwork expert. Oh my God. So let's have this as another wonderful keyword. CCIE. Well, what we could do is also just to open up Google and try a list of Cisco network certifications. Will we find some list? Oh, how about this? Look at this. Oh, it's wonderful. CCNA, CCNP, CCIE. Like, these are wonderful keywords that we can use to source IT professionals who are into Cisco. So let's just Google what is CCNP certification. CCNP enterprise certification training. But what is it about? Is it about the network at all? Cisco enterprise network? Probably, yeah, probably. Well, it doesn't hurt to include it at this point, CCNP. So yeah, let's just add it to the list. That's a third certification. What else? CCNP, CyberOps, DevNet, CCIE. Do we have CCIE and CCDE? CCIE we already have. DevNet, what is DevNet? Cisco DevNet. I have no clue about all these certifications. Cisco DevNet certification, DevNet. Subnet of Cisco certifications, internet to validate software skills. Okay, maybe we are getting too far, but anyway, we are just doing a little research. And then we will decide what to do with it. Okay, so these are the keywords. DevNet, associate network. What about this? Top 5 IT, AWS certified, Cisco certified, F5 certified. Okay, so F5 also has some certification. F5 certification. Does it have any certification? It actually has F5 CTP. F5. What is CTP? Huh? F5 certified administrator. Certified technical specialist, CTP. Or yeah, expert, CSE. CTP is certified technical professional. Interesting. So it's like F5 CA, F5 CTP, F5 CTS, F5 C. Oh, like we are getting a bit too far, right? A little too far. But anyway, we will see if we can find any people who are certified in this technology, CTP and others. I'll just save this link in case we need it at some point later. Okay, cool. So this could be enough for a little research, just to start our search with something tangible. So now let's close all these windows and we can open up LinkedIn Recruiter and start exploring if these keywords would get us to any meaningful profiles. So let's open up our testing profile, clean up keywords, and we will start with someone who is a senior. So they are looking for someone with at least 10 years of experience. So let's have 10 years plus. And ideally someone who is already in Strasbourg. Okay, that's enough. So how many people we have there? 44,000 people in Strasbourg. Not that many. So, I mean, we will obviously find some people if we just put the title network specialist or network engineer. That is clear. But we should also keep in mind the F5 certification, Cisco ACI. So we could add up, not companies, but keywords. Let's just try to find one good profile. Was it ACI? Yeah, Cisco ACI. So what would happen if we put ACI to keywords? Pretty much nothing. We only have 2 people. Not that good. Not that good. So how about we remove the job title at all? Just in this step, we would like to understand what's the scope of the talent pool. It's very few people have the keyword ACI in Strasbourg who already have at least 10 years of experience, which I mean, it's not that surprising. There are, you know, this is really niche technology. Network consult, you see, network consultant. So it's not network engineer, not network admin, just network consultant. So we should definitely add this to the list of titles. Cisco ACI, Cisco USB-C, ACI mode, certified. Okay, so that was a good profile. How about consultant data center? Consultant data center and security. This is actually quite interesting profile again, because we've learned that the Cisco ACI is for data centers. So, you know, it comes with no surprise that some people have the title data center consultant. Let's add it to our list of great titles to explore further. Data center consultant, network engineer. Okay, wonderful. You see CCDA, certification CCDA. Do we have it on the list? CCDE, but we don't have CCDA. CCDA. What's the difference between CCDE and DA? Is it not a typo? CCDE, no, it is not. Okay, so we have CCDE, CCDA, CCNP, CCIE, CCNA. Oh my goodness. So what we could do is to separate it and have either Cisco certification, Cisco carrier certification, or we can have CCNA, CCNP, CCDE, CCDA as some of the certifications. You will explore it further. Okay, so 25 people, not that many, but this is in Strasbourg. We can start with Strasbourg because this position is in Strasbourg, but eventually we can also open up to other destinations, remote, like I don't know, Romania came to my mind the first, Romania. So will we have more profiles? Of course, 854. But even in France, we would have a lot more, but the first search was in Strasbourg. So in Strasbourg, it's just a relatively small city. So now suddenly we have 854 people who have ACI. Now it does not have to be Cisco ACI because you see that's a name of a company, ACI Worldwide. So with that in mind, what we could do is to put Cisco ACI in quotes. That would be much better because it excludes all these names of companies and whatnot. So wonderful, we have 51 people. We don't have any title, but you see we have wonderful profiles like network specialist as well. So network engineer, network specialist, network admin or administrator. What else? A network engineer, senior network engineer. So nice profiles. CCIE. Awesome. Information systems engineer. Yeah, that's a similar title. Opa. Network and security engineer. Network deployment engineer. Opa. IT specialist, even IT specialist. That's interesting. That's a very broad title, isn't it? IT specialist, implementation and support leader. Okay. Okay, so I mean, we are just exploring this first step and thinking about the strategy, like how do we even approach this search? So the first step would be to look for people in Strasbourg and start with people who have Cisco ACI somewhere in their keywords. There are not that many people, so we can go through them relatively quickly. And we don't, well, only 2. Oh, fair enough. Really not that many. So what we could do is also to expand this to, for example, data center, say Cisco, and data center, what was it here? Like this. So what will happen? Suddenly 163 people. So data center, but sales specialist, we don't really look for sales specialists. So in that case, what we could do is to include some more keywords, for example, related to the certifications, because a sales manager will not have these certifications. So we are looking for someone who has already these certifications. So, okay, there is a typo. Cisco. Oh yeah, it is here. So let's try it like this. Cisco. So we want people who have Cisco and data center, or data center, and one of these Oh, is there some typo again? Cisco and data center or data center and okay, so where's the typo? Ah, 2 times or. Okay, that's the typo. I have to fix it here as well. So 29 people. Deployment, project management, data center officer, European agency, consultant, data center, and security. The keyword security actually resonates quite well. Cisco data center expert. That sounds like someone who could be a good fit, over 10 years of experience. Definitely worth checking this profile. Frederick Meltzer. Okay, so this is one. Coming back to the strategy, so we start with a very detailed search, like in Strasbourg, Cisco ACI, or we can try this, and we will have about 30 people probably to go through. So not that many, but at least we know that they either have Cisco ACI somewhere on their profile, or they have something with Cisco and data centers, and they have one of these certifications, which would most likely mean they are not sales people. We should also try F5 just to see who we will get. In Strasbourg, F5, 34 people. We don't really need anything more. It's a small segment of potential prospects. So this is a third search I would try just with F5 and go through all of these profiles to see if they are any good. Okay, so that would be one. Or you know what, I'll visualize it this way. So Strasbourg, and then again Strasbourg. Title would be none. And we just focus on keywords. We could try title, but the pool is fairly small, so we don't have to bother too much. We just need to explore this keyword, Cisco ACI, F5, the Cisco certifications. That is enough when we are going through such a small town like Strasbourg. What else could we try? We could try DevNet probably, or maybe FortiGate. Let's see if we get anyone with FortiGate. IT consultant, VMware systems engineer, senior network engineer, European agency, over 10 years of experience, FortiGate, data center environment. This looks like a decent profile as well. Works for some EU agency already, and you see all of these CCNAs, CCNPs, CCNA, CCNP, and SE4. Okay, let's just Google it. Network security professional, Fortinet. Okay, so F5 is from Fortinet as well, no? Isn't it? I saw it somewhere. No, anyway. So NSE4. Yeah, so this is another keyword to the list of potential keywords to explore. We could now try, after we go through all of these candidates, you know, like this is potentially a very good candidate. We can, you know what, I'll just save him to the pipeline. So we could try now another keyword, which would be one of these, like FortiGate. FortiGate, not FortiGate, but CloudGuard. We found it on one of the articles, but people don't have it on the key on the profile. So let's remove it. It's not a good keyword then. How about DevNet? DevNet 2 results. Maybe in a larger pool, we would get some good profiles. Now we have 2. It's the same, isn't it? Yeah, that's the same as before. So, okay. Not the best one. I would just remove it. What about APIC? So we did a little research at first, identified keywords, and now we are trimming them because they may not really show us good profiles. Finance insurance, not really. Quality assessor, not really. Specialist in system, what? Okay, this doesn't look like someone who we are looking for, so let's remove it. And we are left with F5, a data center, NSE4. Let's try NSE4. Six results: network engineer, engineer integration, network engineer. Okay, so in this case, we don't really have to combine these keywords just because there are not that many people in the pool, right? You try one keyword, you go through 5 profiles. You try another keyword, you try to go through them again. So we don't have to like overcomplicate the Boolean. Where it will get more complicated is when we open up the position to be remote, and then we will have lots of people suddenly. So we will have to start zooming in. In this case, yeah, the search number 4 was a no title and just NSE4. Yeah, we will get a few people to go through, and then we move on to something else. How about this guy, network engineer? He may not have Cisco ACI, so it's good to keep it in mind, right? Or at least if we would see, for example, the data center, we don't see anything with data centers. So that's a bit red flag. Like ideally, we would get people who have the Cisco ACI somewhere written specifically on their profiles. But after we exhaust all of these people, then we have to be creative, right? So we can try Cisco and data center, or Cisco and some of these certifications. So now it will get more complicated once we open it up to different locations. So how about we try, for example, Poland? People may want to relocate from Poland to Strasbourg. We can try Romania. We can try Bulgaria. How about Hungary? $176. Nice, nice. Okay, so suddenly we have more people, and just with this one keyword NSE4, like ideally we would again start with Cisco ACI. 188. Okay, so that's a great result. Like anything between 200 and 400 is great. It's not too much. It's not too specific. There will be plenty of potentially good profiles, and especially we have now the seniority 10 plus. So network engineer, Cisco ACI, wonderful. Okay, and remember, we don't even have to use the job title right now, because the job title could be anything from network consultant or network engineer, network specialist. It doesn't really matter at this point, because once you just look at the profile, you can quickly see, right, if the profile is good or not. There are not that many candidates, so you can go through it really quick. The keyword itself, Cisco ACI, is more important at this point. It's interesting, this guy has it in his headline, ACI, Technical Consulting Engineer. Look at this title, Technical Consulting Engineer. And works at Cisco. So he would know it quite well, I guess, but probably he would not leave the job at this point. But network engineering team lead, like that would be a decent profile, but most likely not a good fit for the position. A little overqualified, maybe. Network security engineer, Cisco ACI, wonderful. Like one profile after another is good, and we are just using the one simple keyword Cisco ACI. So sometimes the beauty of the search is to keep it simple, not to overcomplicate it, and rather go through these profiles. And I know it's often tempting to go all in and come up with some complicated searches, but it may also distract you a bit too much. And if you are not cautious, then you may forget to forget about some specific group of candidates. For example, if you start with as an example, you may want to try search number 5, which would be Cisco ACI and data center. Okay, so this may be a good search. Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary. Yeah, this may be a great search. But what if you forget to remove then in the following search the data center? Because what you should do is, this would be a great group of potential candidates, but then don't forget to have a second search, which would be Cisco ACI and people who just don't have the data center written on their profile. Okay, so not data center, not data center together. And the reason is that people who have Cisco ACI are great in any case. It's just these will be probably a bit better fit profiles, right? Because they right away indicate that they have something with data centers, they have it written on their profiles. We can try it out. Let me use it as a search. Up, there is something at the beginning. Okay, so these profiles will have both Cisco ACI and the data center somewhere on the profile. You see data center engineer, that's awesome. That's awesome. We should go after this guy right away. But let's not forget that there are some people who don't have data center on the profile, but they are still great profiles. So we can try now with the other search. And by the way, I should copy a link of this profile because he looks good on the first side. So we go back and we try now without the data center. 40 profiles. Okay, 40 profiles. I don't remember how many people were before. $148. 148. So essentially, we have a few options, and 148. So with this option, we would have 188. With the second option, we have 148 profiles. And the third option shows us 40 profiles. Okay, so what was the takeaway related to what I was just saying a while ago? So just imagine a group of people. There are 188 people who have Cisco ACI. You may choose to split the group to two subgroups. Some of them will have on their profiles written data center, and some of them will not have it. And we just tried it. So 148 people have both Cisco ACI and the data center on their profile, and another 40 people have only Cisco ACI and they don't have data center written. It does not mean these are not good. They may be great profiles as well. It's just they don't have the data center anywhere on their profiles. So now coming back to the mistake I was just mentioning a while ago, the mistake is to forget that you actually split the group to two subgroups and you just stick to the one. Because if I only would use this keyword and I forget that the alternative is also potentially a good fit, then I would be missing out on one quarter of the profiles. So 40 profiles out of 188, I would just sort of miss or forget. Okay, so so it's just good to keep it in the back of your mind. Imagine this group, imagine these 188 people, and then split them to smaller groups if you have to, if you don't want to go through too many profiles. But don't forget that you split it, so that you also go through the second part of the group. Anyway, I guess you get the point. Information systems engineer. Let's see if he would be a good fit potentially. 1 year. Network security, QA engineer. Probably not. No. Systems administrator. System admin, Cisco ACI, Cisco CCNA, CCSA, CCSE, everything. Administrator, 10 years of experience. Potentially a good profile. Yeah, potentially good. And you see, he does not have the keyword data center on the profile. Okay, she's on the maternity leave. Senior software consulting engineer at Cisco. Okay, we will skip him. A Vodafone, Cisco ACI, F5 also here. Good profile, network engineer for the last 15 years. Okay, he looks good. He's in Romania. Would probably be keen to relocate. We can check in with him. What was the other keyword? F5. Yeah, he has it. He has it here. Cool. Well, I would just stick to this guy. I mean, we saw several great profiles. Really, started with Yaroslav. Also, Daniel was a good profile. So we found some profiles in Strasbourg, also a remote. And we could just continue this, for example, now with the other search where we keep empty title and we, in all these destinations, we would try one of the other keywords, for example, F5 only, or NSE4, or some of these certifications. Okay, so that's fairly easy. And then the question is, what do we write to Cosmin so that he would get excited about this opportunity? So what do we know? Well, we know that he's in Romania. We know that he works for a corporation. We know that he's quite senior. And now, what can we guess? Well, we guess that he may be looking for something that will push him out of the comfort zone, because he's quite senior, right? He worked for different corporations like Ericsson or Vodafone in Romania. That's quite casual, right? We could say for him. So he may be looking for the next step in the career. So what is the next step in the career for someone who works for these corporations and is very senior? Well, it could be to work for EU institutions. So we can paint the future for him somehow, like, hey, what's his name? Cosmin, you have worked for all these great companies, Ericsson, Vodafone, and now the next step in your career is to level up to work for EU institutions. So this is how we can position the opportunity for him. The second angle would be to relocate. It could be interesting for him to explore other countries, explore other destinations. He most likely has a family, so that aspect may not be the driving source. I would rather say that it would be the career and the drive to level up. So, hi Cosmin. Hi Cosmin. You work with Cisco ACI. Well, that's quite boring, isn't it? What else could we mention? You focus on IP security, Cisco routers, switching. You work with Cisco ACI. That's so boring, no? Like you work with Cisco ACI, so what? Do you guys have any idea how to open it up with Cosmin in some like cool, fresh way? Something that would get his attention, something that is relevant, not like breaking news, but something that is professional. He's in his mid-30s. He worked for Ericsson, Vodafone. You worked for both Ericsson and Vodafone. That's still boring. I'm not as creative as usually. It's quite clear that I missed 2 sessions, right, in August. Okay, so let's get to the middle of the message. So after I have the opening, I can continue with and I work with actually now in this case I don't work with the engineering team, so I cannot use this phrase. We could say, and we are looking for a very senior network engineer who has used Cisco ACI, or who has worked with Cisco ACI to improve the infrastructure and network for one of the EU institutions in Strasbourg, EU LISA. Have you ever, oh, that could be an opening. Have you ever thought about, let's do it. Have you ever thought about working for EU institutions? You seem to have great corporate experience. Ericsson, Vodafone. And now that could be a bridge. Nice, nice. I'm getting there. Okay. You'd work with FortiGate and F5. and F5. Would you like to learn more about the team and the opportunity to relocate to? Do we know anything about Strasbourg? Is it special by any means? Strasbourg is one of the de facto 4 main capitals of the European Union. Okay, how about we use the phrase? It sounds quite good. And would you like to relocate to one of the 4 main capitals of the European Union? Okay, let's read it. Hi, Cosmin. You seem to have great corporate experience at Ericsson Vodafone. Have you ever thought about working for EU institutions? We are looking for a very senior network engineer who has worked with Cisco ACI to improve the infrastructure and network for one of the EU institutions in Strasbourg, EU LISA. You'd work with FortiGate and F5. Would you like to learn more about the team and the opportunity to relocate to one of the de facto 4 main capitals of the European Union? This could be a wonderful next step in your career, as a lot of professionals who work for EU institutions are in high demand. Now this added the last touch point to get him excited. Okay, and the subject would be Cisco Strasbourg. Cisco in Strasbourg. Okay, so it's not very clear intentionally. It is supposed to trigger some curiosity, and yeah, otherwise I think we could go with it. Would you guys change anything? Is it correct grammatically? I don't have Grammarly turned on in Safari, so I cannot really check it on the fly, but otherwise looks good, no? And by the way, I created an ebook with all these messages. So if you guys don't have it yet, then just send me a message on LinkedIn and I will share it with you. Where is it? I had it here just a while ago. I took screenshots of all the messages that I sent over the last year to candidates. So if you need some inspiration at any point, you can just go through the messages, reuse some of the phrases. So you see 20 pages of screenshots, pretty cool, right? So if you would like to get it, it's not available online just yet, but just message me on LinkedIn and I will send it to you in an attachment. I cannot send an attachment here on Zoom. So you just have to open up LinkedIn and send me a message. I'm wondering if this is right. Yes, it is. So just send me a message on LinkedIn and yeah, I'll send you the PDF. Cool. So let me send the message to Cosmin. Send. Wonderful. Okay, so if you guys have any more ideas, then or I mean, especially candidates, not just ideas, but candidates, then send them our way. I'll paste these keywords so you know what to start with, and you can start your search. And if you don't have access to our vendors portal, then just go to recruitinstantly.com/vendors, and you can join us, you can submit candidates, and you can earn some commission. So this could be a win-win situation, especially if you already happen to know some network engineers and you can just tap on an existing pool, you could accelerate it and you can just submit the candidates our way. We will quickly interview them and submit to the client. All right, cool. So with that, I'll wrap it up. Don't forget to think about this strategy. Don't just open up LinkedIn randomly and start without any thoughts behind, because you will miss out on a lot of candidates. Rather, take a systematic approach. Think about what to start with, how big is the pool, how do you slice it so that you don't miss anyone and you can systematically go through the whole pool. Okay, so with that, I'll wrap it up. If you guys don't have any questions, hope you have a productive start of September. I'll see you next week again, next Thursday, with some new exciting role again. Okay? Have a wonderful day, everyone. Cheers. Bye. Bye-bye.